Hi, I'm Rachel Chasteen, and I was the show producer for the August Wildfire 2016 showcase. So I was in charge of recruiting performers and bringing the show together as a whole, working with our stage manager and our lighting director and all of those fun things. So I was doing a lot of pre-event work on the show and less involved with the show as it was happening. But yeah, so I can start with some technical challenges that we had during the show that were unexpected, that we sort of had to roll with the punches a little bit. So one thing that was unexpected, with Julia's rope going around the stage, we had one technical difficulty where one of the lights went out. And we noticed this and we're like, okay, well, Chooch was our amazing lighting person. Chooch went around the stage during the act and checked and saw that one of our cables had been burned through. We didn't notice that the rope was laid on top of it, so he was really quick and fast at turning that off so that we wouldn't lose all of the lights all at once if we blew a circuit. So that was unexpected, but went really smoothly and there were no problems. I think just it was a whole lot of emailing a whole bunch of people and then following up later and seeing who was interested in putting together a performance for us. Because it's a lot of work, and so it's a lot to ask, but it came together really well, I think, as a whole.
Do you have any comments on managing personality conflicts in the most efficient and calming, supportive way possible? Or whatever.
Managing conflicts in a
Managing strong personalities.
strong personalities. Got it. Managing strong personalities. Something that I don't have a lot of experience with. I've never run a show before, so all of this was very new to me. For strong personalities, I thought it was just most important to give those people as much attention as they were requesting. If that meant putting in a little bit of extra time, it was worth it to make sure that everyone was happy and that everything went smoothly. So we didn't have too many problems with that. There were a couple of conflicts in the beginning stages when we were deciding how we wanted the MC to be introducing acts, and it just came down to being flexible and being able to change things both on the performer side and on the side of the MC and the show director, so that everything would come together cohesively. And we ended up having the MC flex a little bit more since her plans were more fluid than the performers who had these very set in stone plans for what they were going to do.
Excellent. If you go back to the beginning of being the producer, you go back and tell yourself something, or a couple of things, I'm sure, but actionable items that would be helpful for you, what would those be?
Actionable items that would have been helpful for me to know back when I started this. Don't be afraid to ask for help along every step of the way, all the time. Be totally comfortable leaning on people, especially people who have done this before, unlike me. A friend, Adrian, he has a lot more experience with the community than I do, and he knows a lot more names. And I was able to reach out to him and get a list of people who would potentially want to participate, and that's where I got the bulk of our performers. So if I had done that earlier, I think it would have made the process go even smoother.
Great. Okay. Anything else that you would like to tell people in general? It's okay if not.
Not off the top of my head. Do we have any questions about the show as a whole or different aspects of it?
What was your process, or did you have a specific process for essentially for lining up the show? for ordering the show?
Yeah, I put a lot of thought into the order of the show, and we ended up tweaking it a little bit on the day of, after I learned a little bit more about the individual acts. But I really wanted the show to start and engage the audience. I didn't want to start off on a more emotional note, because that can be something that will scare people away. So we wanted to start with something upbeat, and then progress into the more emotional and dramatic pieces. And then from there, we wanted to finish on a high note, because the whole message of the showcase is to get people involved and get people learning and get people to go spin fire as soon as the showcase is over. We want people to really jump up and just want to go learn. So we wanted to end on a high note. But we didn't want to go directly from super deep emotional to high energy jumping around, because that would be really abrupt. So we tried to make it a little bit more gradual. We had a break in between where we did the Beaver Ward story, which was a good transition from Julia's piece into Frank's, which is much more upbeat. So it was a lot of that. Originally, we were going to have Malou go first, but then after talking with him, we learned that his piece was much more contemporary and emotional and more along those lines, and we realized that it wasn't really a starting act. It was a fantastic act, but it wasn't a good note to begin with, especially when the MC is coming out here and saying that we want people, excited and eager to learn. Yes.
What was the origin of the idea of the MC playing with the performers' props and trying to learn them on the spot and in front of the audience, the little bit of comedy she did after each act of how did that idea start, and did it evolve into what we saw, or did it begin as exactly what we saw?
That was restate the question. Having Melissa, the MC, come out and play with each of the performers' props and make a joke of, I don't know how to do this, but this person really knows how to do this and it's amazing, and I want to learn, was really going back to the core roots of the Wildfire mission. And we really wanted to reflect that in the showcase. So it was entirely her idea, and then we modified it around what each individual performer wanted. Like Julia, for example, wanted no introduction. So we did something at the end rather than at the beginning. But yeah, that was all on Melissa, and I think it came together well. It was funny.
Excellent. Questions, comments, concerns?
You did a great job.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna turn this off.